Yvonne asked if I can describe what I was seeing, and I said it's like a little ball in the creature's hand. And I recall very clearly this object. It was flat, circular, had little balls under it, and once I got a look at it up underneath, it had like a little hole with a needle. We're going to do something a bit different this time. In my book, but something is there, an unusual journey. There's a transcript, one of the few transcripts that survived from all the sessions I did with Yvonne Smith back in the 90s. And this transcript was called Head Wound. Someone was transcribing for Yvonne at one time and took one of the tapes, listened to it, and verbatim wrote a transcript based on what was said between us. And in some cases, things were inaudible. Also, she left out names. I remember most of the names where it says name and there's no name. So it's going to be a little bit of a rough read, but it'll give you a flavor, looking back in time to 1993, I think it was, when we did this session. When I read through it, it was chilling, because a lot of people talk about Milabs. This certainly reeks of being one. And, you know, not all my experiences have been rosy and wonderful and loving and all that kind of stuff. They're always a bit scary to start with. And, you know, you can get, as time goes by, you can get, I don't want to say complacent, but you get comfortable with the whole thing. But then someone will describe, as I heard the other day, what happened to them when it was early on for them, and it brings back those memories that will never go away, the ones where you were scared to death because something completely out of your realm of day-to-day reality happened to you. It's like post-traumatic stress syndrome. You're stigmatized. You hear someone describing how they were paralyzed and couldn't move and they felt helpless, and it's very emotional and very hard to get through. I ran into this yesterday listening to a man's testimony. So we're going to read this transcript, and as I read the transcript, I'm going to do my best to reenact the things that I recalled. So this is a little bit different of an episode. As it states in the book, this is an exact transcript of the recording. Yvonne Smith, certified hypnotherapist, transcript number 551. Subject, Steve Neill. Now, I'm not going to read all the little details, but Yvonne always takes me down slowly. She puts me in a place that I feel comfortable in. It's a place, for me at that time, was the mountains where I used to go and fly gliders. And that would always be the safe place she could take me back to if things got really hairy, and they did. But then, as I begin to relax, she begins to say, to explore a memory or possible experience that you may have had as we leave now the present time of January 19th, 1994. You allow yourself to begin to drift back in time, very gently, very slowly, to Saturday night, December 18th, 1993. Gently drift back to that night, the night, December 18th, 1993. And as you describe it now, what did you do on that night? As you speak verbally, the deeper asleep you will become. Well, I'm just getting home to the house, and Beth lets me in. Then Yvonne asks me what time it is, and I basically tell her I really wasn't paying attention at the time, and that I really didn't know. It's about a little after 12, I think. The channel 36 is still on. Channel 36, boy, that takes you back, huh? I guess they fell asleep listening to the radio program. Now, I'm talking about my late wife and her daughter. And basically what happened is they went to bed, and were asleep when I got home, but I think I must have forgot my keys or something because it says here that Beth let me in. So I go back into my bedroom, Jilly's sound asleep, the TV's on, I turn it off. She liked to sleep with the TV on, but if she was asleep, I turned it off. And I got into bed and I pulled the covers up over me. I was a lot younger back then and I was a little bit terrified of what was going on. So I was kind of like a kid hiding under those covers as much as I could. And then while under hypnosis, I tell Yvonne, I heard something. What did you hear? Like the house shook or something, like a sonic boom or something. I'm seeing light. My eyes are closed, but I'm seeing light through them, like it's moving around. I hear somebody talking about me. Yvonne asks, what are they saying? Someone's talking to someone else. So I'm hearing somebody talking to someone else. So I'm laying there and I'm feeling the covers coming off and I'm trying to open my eyes and I'm not being able to do it. I can't open my eyes, but I can't make out what they're saying. Something about moving me. There's some difference of opinion or something. Now I'm remembering this, they're arguing, but I really couldn't make it out. It was dim, it was very soft, and they were arguing about what to do with me or where they were supposed to take me. Then I say, somebody's got a very, very cold touch. My eyes are open, just a crack. There's somebody right there, looking at me. Yvonne asks, how close? I say, inches away. He's trying to figure out if I'm awake or not. They were trying to see if I was awake. I hear him say, he's awake, barely. I'm not, they're pulling me. I'm feeling like I'm weighing so much, so heavy, like I'm limp. My head kind of snaps back, so weird. Hand on my back, hand on my arm. They want me to move. He's saying to me, come on, move, come on. Yvonne asks, can you see what they look like? Yes. I just respond yes. What do they look like? The usual. The small ones. Although they seem really big because the heads are so close to me, I think they look the same. They don't look menacing or threatening in any way. Almost like cute little creatures, inquisitive, very full of themselves and self-importance. It's very important to them that they do this right, whatever it is. We walk down the hallway. We're walking down the hallway. And what I remember is they took me down the hallway, and when they got me to the kitchen, the dining room area, I could see out through the sliding doors. They were open, and there was a slight breeze coming in, and it was blowing back these curtains, lace curtains my wife had up, and there was this purple glow coming from the backyard, which was odd because I'm used to seeing blue. So I say here, we're outside. We're outside. I don't think we opened the door. Not very in focus. It's hard to see. I feel like I'm sedated. We're standing outside on the concrete, the walkway by the tree, and I look up and see where the lights are coming from. But I know where it's coming from. It just all seems so familiar. Started feeling really shaky, and I don't like this feeling. Wish I could be calmer. But I think part of it's just that it's cold, and I'm just in my underpants and my t-shirt. It's cold. Oh, I don't feel so heavy anymore. Oh, this part feels kind of good. I'm just cold though. Oh, I feel cold. Oh, that light's bright when I look up at it. Just a bright light in the sky. It's solid, doesn't move. Right past the tree. At this point, Yvonne asks, are you still standing there? No. We've gone up. We've gone up high. We go right into this light. I think we enter a doorway. I don't feel so cold. We're inside. We're not inside where I thought we'd be. This is different. This is really different. Yvonne asks, can you describe it? Yeah, looks like a hospital. I've seen this corridor before. Smooth, polished floor, white walls, looks like fluorescent lights mounted on the ceiling, plastic grids or something. This is not where I thought I'd be. Two of the little ones are with me. She tells me, just take a deep breath. They're moving me into the doorway on the left. Yes, I'm in some sort of doctor's office room. It looks like an operating room. Yvonne asks, can you describe what you see there? Looks like an operating room. Looks like human operating room. It's metal table, instruments. I don't believe I'm seeing this. This is like their place. There's a light, an examination light. I've seen this kind. Yvonne says, try to focus on what you're seeing. They're trying to put me on a table. They put me on the table, butt first, and they push me down. I'm trying to resist. I'm scared because I don't like this room. It's not like the other rooms I've been in. I hear voices speaking. That's not theirs. They're trying to push me down. One of them got my t-shirt and he starts pulling it up, and he pulls up so hard my arms automatically go up like they're limp. Okay, take a deep breath, Yvonne says. Now, knowing that you are safe and you're exploring, you felt yourself now on the table and they're leaving you. Yvonne says, just describe everything you're seeing and experiencing. There's a man standing to my right talking, and this doctor is talking to one of them. I think I've seen him before. I don't like him. I just don't like what he's doing here. I don't like that they're here. I don't like this. Something unheard. This is not right. Oh, something just jabbed me in the arm. Now I remember this. So I'm watching this all happen, and he's talking to little Grace, which is disturbing for some reason. I mean, none of this seems right. It's really out of the ordinary. Then I felt something jab me in the arm, and I remember that something was put, I believe it was my left shoulder. The one I'm reaching for right now. I haven't forgot. All these years, I haven't forgot. It was painful. And I do remember that the next morning, it was there, the needle mark. You know what a needle mark feels like. When I looked to see what happened, someone just walked away. Oh, that feeling. How do you feel, Yvonne asks. Almost kind of good. This reeks of being some kind of sedative. Yvonne asks something, but it's unheard. But I hear voices, I respond. Then somebody's shining like a little pen light in my eye or something. And there's somebody standing real close in my face again, saying something about me. He's awake. He's awake. I'm aware of two people in the room standing over me. They're tall, and they're wearing like blue outfits. They're doctors. The little one says something to me, and I think they have an air sound. The sound I described before. It's like a hiss. I'm just aware that there's something in my nose. He's got something in his hand. Yvonne asked if I can describe what I was seeing, and I said it's like a little ball in the creature's hand. And I recall very clearly this object. It was flat, circular, had little balls under it, and once I got a look at it up underneath, it had like a little hole with a needle. All I can think of at the time is, how can you let them do this to me? How can you let them touch me? Oh God, it's got something in its hand. It's hard to describe it. It's palm size, a little smaller. It's round, highly polished, chrome ball in a circle. It's attached to some kind of plate. I can't see the rest of it because he's palming it. In the center, it's dark, but there's a protrusion there. And I stop. For some reason, I get the feeling, the protrusion, it's narrow and it's turned. Like it turns, I can see a little movement in it. I know he's going to put that on my head. It's like this is part of what he's supposed to do. I can feel the pressure of it sitting on my head. He's very careful about the way he places it. So this thing with the little round balls, and what I remember looking like a little drill, tiny little one in the middle, has been placed on my head. My head's been numbed. Yvonne asks, where does he place it on your head? On the same spot, it feels very cold. I mean, it feels cold. My bone feels frozen. My skull, I hear a sound, a whirling sound. Oh, what's happening? And I cry out, oh, oh. Describe what's happening, Steve. Something's going in that spot? Yeah, oh. So I remember quite clearly just being freaked out. I mean, they put this thing on my head, and I don't think it was one of the doctors. There were other beings in there. I remember thinking back, I saw two small grays in there, but it's reading this, there were taller ones there. And I think they're the ones that were doing the procedure. I'm not quite clear on it because I was very doped up. Obviously, they had drugged me. Yvonne tells me to take some deep breaths, just exploring. You're doing fine, because the reason she's telling me that, you can't hear it from this transcript. But if you heard the actual tape, I'm really kind of unnerved by all this. Who wouldn't be? Oh, it feels so, moans. Somebody's got my arm. One's putting his hand on. Might be one standing over me on my head, saying it won't hurt me. Well, boy, we've heard that before, but it hurts. Oh, maybe it's the idea. Damn, it hurts. They've got something in my skull, in my brain. I think, damn, it hurts. I've got to stop thinking. I've got to put my mind somewhere. Damn, it hurts. Yvonne asks, is he still holding on? Yes, he's saying it's not supposed to hurt. He's got his hand on me. I think it's telling me I gotta let go. So the being's telling me it'll be over in a minute and to relax. Yvonne says, pain and discomfort, just record everything that happens. This is Yvonne asking me something. It says, unheard, pain and discomfort, just record everything that happens. It's stuck in my head. I get the feeling that they're putting something in. Oh, it's there for so long. I tried to. He's telling the doctor something. The doctor's saying something to him. We've got to get that out pretty soon. Oh, it still hurts. This really went on for a long time. It retracted. I could actually feel it retract, or heard it retract. It was just a sensation of knowing. He's taking it off. He's saying, see, that wasn't so bad. Yeah, sure. I don't know why he's saying that. It's horrible. It was like having someone put a corkscrew into your head, a very fine one. He moves it away from my head. Yvonne asks, it's got blood on it? No, I don't see any blood. One of the doctors is dabbing my head with a cotton or something, antiseptic. I smell it. Oh, can you smell the antiseptic? Oh, I can smell it. He's rubbing the spot. He's concerned that it is marked pretty bad. And this I remember well. He's a little irritated. Now this is a doctor standing over me, and he's swabbing my head up here, and this is where it was, right here. And he's annoyed because there's a mark there. And if I remember correctly, because I haven't read all of this in a long time, so you're hearing it with me for the first time in years. He keeps dabbing over and over. When he pulls it away, I see a little reddish pale red and a lot of yellow, pink and yellow. It's gross. He says right to one of the little ones, he's going to know something happened. He's pissed off at him. You can tell by the tone of his voice. I remember, I didn't think it would show like this, he says. Oh, he keeps dabbing. Last time he dabs, he pushes hard and then says, that's as good as it gets. My head hurts. It hurts. It stings. I looked over and there's a big being standing there. I think I'm referring to the tall ones. And I ask, why did you do this? And it says something, it's important. And it will help you somehow. My gut feeling is that there was something in my brain, something they removed. I don't know if it was an implant or I actually had some kind of tumor removed. But I got the feeling that might be what it was. Yvonne asks, what does a big being look like? Is he tall? I reply, I think so. He must be. It's hard to tell. I'm lying on my back. My head is raised, but as I look over, the head is much larger than the smaller one. I don't know if I guess it's the same one that I'm used to seeing. It's her. I'm getting chills right now. It's her. I think. She acts concerned, and I think she's concerned. That you hurt? Yvonne asks. That it hurt, yes. That they hurt me so much. But that is really, but that is really was a good thing that they did. That's exactly how I said it under hypnosis. It makes me stutter when I'm reading this. I just keep hearing the same thing over and over again. That sort of patronizing tone. This'll help you. This'll help you. And you know, I was very good in all those things. They're loosening the straps on my feet. It feels good. I had my ankles so close together and my wrists. I don't know why I just don't get off the table and run. But it's like somehow I just know that I'm supposed to lay here. This is much harder than I thought it would be. I thought I could just breeze through this and not be emotional, but I don't know where I'd go. They're going about their business. The big ones walk around to my right side. It's talking to the doctor. Can you get him up now? So at this point, they're trying to get me up, and I'm very drugged, and the doctor's saying, do you think it's a good idea to get him up right now? Because I'm so groggy and I'm so drugged still, and I think to myself, if they're worried about that, why don't they just float me? They're very strong. They come around to help me. My legs drag off the table and I just kind of dangle. The little one just hands me my t-shirt. Just put it on. I mean, I can hardly move my arms. They help me put my underpants back on. I sort of bend over and they put the t-shirt out of my hand and over my head. I put my arms through it. It feels good because it's cold. It feels good to have any clothes on. I just don't like being cold like that. They just start to walk about somehow, and I feel that I'm not really walking this time. I'm trying to, but my feet are dragging. I can feel the floor on the back side of my toes and unheard. Oh, like scratching on a blackboard. Oh, I've seen this before. This big cavern, open expanse, supported by beams, big metal girders, and it's very high, the ceiling. There's a corridor to my left, and there's a yellow-white light coming from it. There's some light over the top of it, with one of these metal screens around it. There's a sign, too. It's far away to read. It's very dark in there. They're taking me right from this corridor. It's weird. We've been going to this corridor, and it's really bright. Yellow-white light. Really bright. White, yellow. Just bright. It's so bright, I can't see anything else. I could just see the top of my house at this point. So whatever I was going through was feeding me back out the other end of some kind of portal or hole. I don't know if I was in a craft. I was so confused, but I could see the top of my house. And now we're above the house, descending definitely the backyard. I see the bars on my bedroom window, and just like Peter Pan, just float right down into it. So they take me back into my bedroom, and my wife's lying in bed asleep, and they put me back into bed. They put me in bed, and I just get up in and pull the covers up. Two of them leave. Always one looks back at me before it disappears. Down the hallway, I'm getting kind of used to them. They don't really scare me. They disappear down the hallway. Sigh. I'm awake now. I can see the clock. It's 4 o'clock. When I first woke up, I expected it to be light in the room, but it's not. I feel relieved. My head hurts. I feel weird, like I was under sedation. Yvonne says, okay, we're going to leave this. Just take a deep breath for now as we leave that time and coming back very, very gently and slowly to the present time, January 13th, 1994. So that was it. It was very difficult to get through all that on many levels. It was hard to read because it's a transcript, and but when we were at that part with the being, the tall female, so concerned about me, it was kind of heartbreaking, I guess, to look back at that and realize at some point in time they were working with our people. Or were they? Were they trying to, was the whole thing staged, and they really were doing some type of surgery to benefit my health, but they wanted to see how I would react if our own people were involved in it? Because there was talk back then about this stuff, and I just found it hard to believe that they would work with our people, because to me, those people are the real monsters. So maybe it was a staging. Maybe it was something done to me to gauge my emotional response to a situation like that, to see how I really felt about my own kind. Because they always treated me with more respect than the human doctor did. I don't know. So this one was quite different, wasn't it? It sure was for me. And it hasn't ever happened since. And I'm glad.